Welcome to the post-draft power rankings for Evergrande WCBL Season 4. Today I am by myself because my co-host can't really talk because she had her wisdom teeth pulled recently. But the show must go on, so let us get right into it. At number 8, she has herself. I have a guy. She has a guy at 7. I have him at 8. So right off the bat, a guy's team looks powerful, I guess. He has Latios, Sylveon, Amoonguss, Nidoking, Registeel, Beartick, Mega Heracross, Manaphy, Zera, Leavanny, and Absol. However, I think she would also agree with me. The reason we have him low is just because he has a lot of mons. First off, he has problem with like speed, I guess. He has 4 mons in the grouping of 60 and lower. He has 2 mons at 75, another mon at 85. And then Leavanny at 92, I guess, and Nidoking at 85 are kind of his middle grouping for speed. And Leavanny, not that great offensively, I would say personally. It's more used for webs. And then we have Nidoking. So he kind of lacks his middle speed presence with only like Nidoking. And then his faster mons of Latios, Manaphy, and Zera. There is a huge speed gap between Zera and Latios. So that is going to be taken advantage with like scarfs or something. Probably won't even try and reach for that higher thing for Zera most of the time. And he has 2 bug types that are both quad weak to flying. So slap like an HP flying onto something, and that's 2 mons you don't have to worry about. That also helps with Amoonguss. So flying is very useful for that. His only like resist to flying is that Registeel. So he is going to, and I guess Zera is flying. So he's going to be kind of struggling with that. His hazard removal is Latios with Defog. Besides that, no hazard removal. And that is not really good, because that means people can easily take advantage of him with hazard stacks with like T-spikes or rocks. Rocks are somewhat decent against him with that Leavanny, with that Beartick, taking advantage of Slowthings. Spikes, only one person has spikes, so doesn't really have to worry about that too much. But a lot of people will be setting up rocks, and they will basically be up to stay if they can rapid spin away those webs, or if he doesn't even bring webs. It is going to be pressuring him a lot. Also, yeah, that is it for a guy. I have Nada at 7. She has her at 8. And not sure why she put herself at the bottom. Maybe because she doesn't really like stall, doesn't really know how to use it. However, I think that the fat team that she has can stall out quite a few teams if played correctly, and I think she is skilled enough to do that. The problems I do have with her team, though, is like with a guy. Her speed tiers are, there is a solid grouping around like the 50 speed, being Pangoro, Licky, Megadino, Tangrowth. Has that Wobbuffet at 33. Probably should say her entire team: Celesteela, Dugtrio, Arcanine, Kyurem, regular Kyurem, Goro, Licky, Megadino, Tangrowth, Rotom Wash, Gliscor, and Wobbuffet. So she has a lot of mons in that low speed group. Doesn't have Trick Room user. I think actually Mega Audino does get Trick Room, but that just means it has less one supporting move like Heal Bell or Wish, which is its main role. Also, Mega Audino and Licky basically do the same role, so I'm not sure why she picked up both. Because before Mega, she does have quite a strong weakness to fighting, with her slower group as well as that Kyurem. Dugtrio doesn't really want to take any fighting moves, so she kind of has to rely on Gliscor and Wobbuffet to take those fighting type moves. She has to rely on Defog to get rid of hazards, so she can't keep her own rocks up from the Gliscor or the Dugtrio. Her Z-Mons are Dugtrio and Pangoro. Yes, Pangoro gets Z Parting Shot, which is really useful for a bulky team like this. However, I kind of disagree on the fact that Dugtrio was made a Z mover. I feel like Rotom Wash would have been a better Z move user than Dugtrio. Helps deal with gives her electric Z move, which is quite useful for bulky waters, which otherwise kind of also like to sit in front of her. So kind of think she should have put the Z move on Rotom Wash instead. Guess she probably wanted Z momentum, but not really the best sweepers. The only, I guess, sweeper she would go into with like a Z memento is probably the Celesteela to set up and automize. And yeah, that is not a team. Next I have she has no, I have TB at 6, and not a, probably should have written this down, has him at 4, which I kind of understand. These middle 4 of 6 through 3 kind of all middle of the pack, and I can understand why she would do something like that. TB's team consists of Kyurem B, Necrozma, Slurpuff, Alolan Ninetales, Lurantis, Magmortar, Mega Aerodactyl, Keldeo, Scizor, Dolomise, and Sandslash. Looking at TB's team, he has doubled up on the Fairy, doubled up on Ice. That's all he doubled up on. Speed-wise, kind of has to rely middle-wise on Magmortar and Current Black, which isn't all that bad. Kind of worried about his team though, because Poison can do a lot if Scizor is not brought. Same with Steel. Steel can do a lot to his team. So he kind of has to bring Scizor if he wants something to take on those Steel and Poison types. Well, not dual types, but you know what I mean. Z movers, Kyurem B, Magmortar, pretty good. does have webs, and Slurpuff has Aurora Veil with Alolan Ninetales, which is pretty good with the Carbon Black. Also given its Blizzards on Carbon Black with that Hail. 100% accuracy, which is quite nice. Also kind of sort of worried about fire types against his team. Dhelmise, Scizor, Orantis, Ninetales, all super effective against them. Carbon Black, which is a dragon, is neutral against that. So yeah, kind of worried about that. Would have to kind of bring Magmortar to take on those hits, or Mega Aerodactyl, and it's just somewhat bulkier state. Doesn't have, well, I guess he does have Wish with Slurpuff, but if you're bringing Wish as on Slurpuff, then you're kind of missing out on arguably it's better set in Belly Drum. So that's also why I have him lower, because he doesn't really have that good of a cleric, and I really think clerics are a main importance to any draft team. Nala probably doesn't think that way, which is probably why she has him higher. Moving on to her number 6. My number 3, or maybe it was 4. I'm going to say it's 4. Yeah, 4. Me. My team, probably not good that I'm talking about it myself. After the draft consists of Kartana, Mimikyu, Umbreon, Dragalge, Piloswine, Zebstrika, Mega Slowbro, Aerodactyl, Vaporeon, Hitmonlee, and Volcanion. Probably why she has it lower is because of that triple water. As well as kind of missing out on the special side of offense. However, I kind of put myself slightly higher because I did, like, right after the draft, make a trade with someone, my Vaporeon for the Savali, so I kind of took that into consideration, even though I probably shouldn't have. But I think that would, since it's basically covering the entire season, that is going to make my team slightly better with that parting shot. I have a lot of mons that synergize quite well together. My Zebstrika can take the electric and grass moves depending on which ability I run for my water types, which is quite nice. Kind of worried about fire types though. With that Kartana, but I feel like with my bulk physically and especially, I can take on most teams. I have Rockers, I have T-Spikes. My speed is quite diverse. Not too many groupings. And yeah. Did I say my entire team? Probably not. I drafted Kartana, Mimikyu, Umbreon, Dragalge. Oh wait, I already said that. Kind of scrambled brain since I'm doing this by myself. Trying to keep everything straight. Let's move on to her number 5, or my number 5. Her number 3, Poke Primer. Primer's a team consisting of Weavile, Suicune, Metagross, Crobat, Cloud, Weezing, Mega Ampharos, Tapu Bulu, Infernape, Armaldo, and Piloswine, and the Z moves being on Weezing and Tapu Bulu. Primer does have quite a threatening team. Kind of the reason why I kept him lower is because he doesn't have a cleric for those wishes. And like I said, kind of, I feel like it's important to a draft. If you don't have a good wish support mon, you will lose out to bulkier staller teams like Nada's and some other teams, as well as this season. We have 10 weeks with only 8 people, and that is because each person faces 3 people twice. So I kind of also did it with groupings. That 2 from each grouping would be in the bottom 4 and 2 would be in the top 4. And yeah, like I said, problems with Primer's team. He has no cleric. He does have toxic spikes. He does have rocks, multiple rockers, each week to different things, so it doesn't have to really worry about that, which is why I kind of have him higher towards the middle. His hazard removal is Crobat with Defog and Armaldo with Rapid Spin, and both are weak to rocks, which is kind of not okay for hazard removal since everyone has rockers and not as many people have spikes. He has 2 poison types. Both are not grounded, which means he can't get rid of toxic spikes that way. He does have some great momentum with U-Turn on Crobat, Infernape, and Bolt Switch, and the Mega Ampharos. But once again, speed-wise, he has a drop-off between Infernape and Suicune from 108 to 85. And Suicune is usually run more bulky, so it's not even using that full speed. So it's more like a speed gap between Infernape and Tapu Bulu, which is 108 to 75. So kind of a speed gap there, allowing people to run things Adamant or Modest in that speed grouping, which can become a problem later for him. Also, I have problems with the Z-move users, Tapu Bulu. Sure, it is powerful with a Z move. However, I usually see people wanting to run things like Scarves or Banded Bulu more often. And a Z move on that is not used as often since it usually already hits hard like a truck. I think it would have been better if it was on his Weavile or Infernape, which gets better coverage. Weavile is a fast boy and gets quite a lot of coverage physically. Infernape is not as fast, but it gets quite a bit of coverage physically and especially. So I think it would better be put on that. So kind of have to follow him for that. And yeah, Nada's number 5, and my number 3 is Cameron. Cameron, after the draft, had Deoxys Speed, Salamence, Lycanroc, Dusk, Silvally, Blaziken, Frogadier, Mega Mawile, Zygarde 50, Rotomo, Balloon Persian, and Kolovala. So he had, I thought, one of the top 2 teams after the draft ended. However, instantly he decided to get rid of Deoxys Speed for Deoxys Defense, and he traded Silvally away for Vaporeon, which I think kind of made his team weaker, in my opinion, because he lost his double parting shot, and he lost his fast offense. Now his fastest mon is Alolan Persian at 115, and that is not as threatening offensively, allowing people with faster mons to go slightly slower to Lycanroc Dusk speed at 110. His Z move users, Frogadier and Zygarde, I agree with. Frogadier with Protein, especially with Z move, can do a lot of damage, especially at that 97 speed. Outspeeds quite a few things at base 95, such as Chiron Black, such as Slanderous. It outspeeds that, which is quite nice. Threats like that can easily be taken off guard by a Z move from Frogadier, getting that stab from Protein. But besides that, offensively, he has quite a scary team. Has different options for rocks, has different options for removal with Defog from Salamence, Blaziken, Rotomo, Rapid Spin from Kamala. And I feel like parting shots coming off of a Lone Persian will help things such as the Zygarde and Salamence, or like even Lucky Mark, Dusk, or Blaziken set up and sweep, which is quite nice. And yeah, not much else to say. Also quite enjoy the Rotomo. Probably one of the best Rotoms, at least competitively. I still think I personally like Rotom Fridge the best, even though it's not as good competitively. Moving on to both our number 2s, we have Kaden, aka Zone. Doesn't really like that going by that anymore. But Kaden's team is quite a powerhouse. Tapu Koko, Hawlucha, Pelipper, Z Kingdra, Escavalier, Z Alolan Raichu, Mega Swampert, Alolan Muck, Decidueye, Tornadus, Incarnate, Porygon 2. First off, it has Koko Lucha, which is quite powerful, but is not the bee's knees in itself. But he also has Rain Team. He has a team that doesn't even require Koko Lucha or Rain, which is quite powerful with the Tornadus Eye, Porygon 2, Decidueye, Alolan Muck, Alolan Raichu, Escavalier, which in itself is quite powerful. So he has different ways of running his team to catch any team off guard. If you're like expecting rain and he brings like the Koko Lucha team, you might not be quite prepared for that. If you're even prepared for the Koko Lucha and the rain, you might not be prepared for his regular team not involving either. So it forces a lot of prep on opponent's parts. He has decent. Actually, no. The only real problem with his team is hazards. I'm pretty sure Mega Swampert's the only mon on his team that has hazards of rocks, if I'm remembering that correctly. But he does have quite a few defoggers, which is nice. So he probably wouldn't be focusing too much on hazards anyways, since that is his only form of hazard removal. I'm starting to lose my voice. Oh gosh. Oh dear. But besides that, his B tiers are quite nice. Has bulky team, has rain team, has Koko Lucha, and is quite threatening. And last but not least, me and Nada both agree on Dax being burst with quite a scary team of Landers T, Nihilego, Z Greninja, Alolan, Magneton, Glalie, Mega Altaria, Victini, Bronzong, Cofagris, and Virizion Z. This is quite a threatening team because he has mons that can be run either offensively or defensively. He's the only one with spikes with Glalie and I think Glalie gets spikes, I'm pretty sure, and Greninja. He has toxic spikes on Nihilego. He has rocks on Nihilego. He has rocks on Lando T. He has rocks on Bronzong. So quite decent hazards. Only real problem with his team is that his only form of hazard removal is defog on that Mega Altaria or Landers T. However, his team isn't really weak to rocks. Only really Glalie, Mega Altaria, and Victini, and only the Mega Altaria before it Megas. So doesn't have to worry about that. And the only other thing he would probably have to worry about hazard-wise is spikes. But no one else has that. Not even Cameron with the Frogadier. You'd think Frogadier would have spikes like Greninja, but no, doesn't get spikes until Greninja, which is like why. Greninja is not a Protean, which is kind of wet. But his speed covers nicely. He has great momentum with U-turners such as Lando and Greninja and Victini, and he has great momentum with Volt Switch on the Magneton. And he just has a lot of power and great defensives and quite diverse physically and special attackers. And that is all for the post-draft power rankings. Hope you enjoyed. It will definitely get better once Nada can talk and join me again. And I will catch you next time for week 1 power rankings. So catch you next time. Bye bye.